Hey, everybody, your favorite time. Everybody says, I can't wait. Sunday Sterling, Sunday Sterling. They love you. So,
Right.
107 here today. What's it like down there?
I think almost the same. Yeah, very,
Really?
very, very warm. But I think
Would
we're
you
lucky
guys
because
just kind of
inland,
close all the windows and batten down the hatch?
we do, yeah, and the AC's on all that. But I think in the inland empire and the valleys, it's like 115. So it's getting crazy. Yeah.
Oh, and people have been writing, and I should have said this on my last video, but I just want you all to know that the Fresno fire, the Creek fire,
Mhm.
apparently just really took off. Fresno's about 3 hours from me. How far is it from you? Quite a ways.
Uh, about four. So yeah,
I did an event there for Hillary years ago.
yeah.
Stayed in this rinky-dink hotel, laid wide awake, afraid somebody was going to try to come in. Okay, so
Good times.
good time. That's what I always say, good time. So you were going to announce a winner.
Right. So we've been running this contest, so I think everybody knows about. And Linda, congratulations. You reached another 1,000 subscribers.
36,
So actually
36.
more. You're now at 36,200, I think is the current number. So as promised, we have another winner for a half-hour reading, a session with myself. And the name of that winner is, double check, Francisco Anello. So
Okay.
Francisco Anello, if you're out there listening, congratulations.
Congratulations,
Uh,
Francisco.
just reach out to our offices through our website, and we'll get it all set up for you. So
And his website will be
and
on on this video. You'll see it in the box below.
it will.
And you
And
can
also
book
just
readings.
to
We can book readings with you through your website. That's linked below.
absolutely, you can sterlingpsychicmedium.com, exactly.
Okay.
And I was
Easy.
just going to mention that we're going to continue the contest. So now when we get to the next 1,000 subscribers for Linda, up to 37,000, we'll have another half-hour winner. So
I'd
so we'll
like to
keep it
thank
rolling
the members of the Academy. Thank you.
Exactly. And one of the reminders that we pick the winners from the comments on these shows when they start off their comment with the word love. That's just how we know that they want to be involved in the contests.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. Okay. This has just been so much fun with you
Yeah.
every Sunday. And people are living for this. My cousin wrote me last night from Oklahoma, my cousin Regina, and she said, I looked all day. I never saw Sterling's video. I said, it's tomorrow. Oh, they're getting too excited there. They want you to hurry up. Okay, here's question number 1. And you take the questions when I say it's Sterling next Sunday. Put your questions, and it fills up fast. And I don't pick the questions, you guys. Sterling's wife and Dan picks the questions. Okay, from the afterlife, does Eleanor Roosevelt have a message? I love her.
She does. And so this came about through one of the questions, a request to bring her in. And so I did this week, and fascinating, very nice lady. But one of the things she started off saying was that first off, there's going to be a new deal. So she sees the new deal coming.
That's what I've been saying. Yeah.
Exactly.
Great.
The new deal's coming. But she also provides some insight. And she said, she told me I wasn't a big fan of the New Deal when it was first proposed. But when I saw the benefits it had on not only women, but children for education and housing and, upward mobility, she said, I became a big fan of all the components for women and children. And she's assured me that the New Deal coming for us is going to be a big success. So that was a big message. Yeah.
Yay. How is Putin communicating with 45?
I've gotten this a few times, and they're reiterating that there's actually a very interesting communication channel happening. This has been set up in advance, like the Helsinki meeting that he had with Putin. They actually set up a secret, I'll call it a secret dialogue. And that dialogue is handled through tweets and through public announcements that Trump makes. So there's keywords that they communicate back and forth with through like public tweets. So there's a code going on in a lot of the external communications that Trump uses. They can't risk any direct communications right now because that would be found out. So that's how they're maintaining that collaboration. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a repeat question, but first I want to tell you something I've been feeling. First of all, he's going to be in trouble. Putin is in about a year or so. But I feel that he doesn't really like Trump. And he doesn't feel Trump did enough for him. And I almost feel like once he's done, once Trump is no longer president, he's like, whatever, get lost.
And that's true with a lot of world leaders. I agree. So, I mean, they've been using Trump, and then once he's no longer of any use, they'll go to the wayside. Yeah.
This is a repeat question. Will Dems retain the House, win the Senate and the White House in the upcoming election? Who will be president in 2021?
Yes, you know the answer to that too, but what my guides tell me very clearly is that the Dems will actually take the House and the Senate, so all Congress.
Biden will be so excited.
Biden will be the next president, and you know this is the time has come. I mean, there's been a sea change here in a lot of areas, so yeah, it's going to happen.
You know, I'm going to tell you guys. Remember that Sterling was the one that said that Trump was going to win. That's how I met him. His wife was a client of mine, and he prophesized it. She said she tried every which way. Are you sure? And you said, I'm sorry, but I see him winning. And I just thought that was because you don't meet too many people that said that. And I'll be honest with you, had I been doing a video, I might have, but then I didn't read the cards like that. If I'd had to really sit down and look, I might have saw that he was going to win. But you called it, and so that's why I was interested in meeting you.
Yeah, again, I think it was the cheating factor, obviously, that, you know, was the big, yeah.
So when Sterling says it, I believe it. Okay. When Biden becomes president, will he implement some of the Bernie Sanders ideas to help improve the lives of the 99%?
Yes, that's a definite. And one of the reasons that will be done, so it'll make Bernie a part of kind of the White House senior team, but it'll also help the healing of the nation. That's why Biden's going to do it. It'll help with the healing and kind of bring everybody together as part of the overall strategy. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is 45, I saw Bernie in the middle of things. I saw them looking to him.
He will be.
Is 45 putting looters and rioters in these towns to create trouble so he can say law and order and help his campaign?
Yes, and what's interesting about that is that it's actually, you know, a lot of what Trump does is he tries to take what he's doing behind the scenes and then call someone else on it, right? So actually, I think it was last week he called out, there was a plane full of thugs headed towards a major city to disrupt, but he has been doing this behind the scenes, I'm getting, paying people off to go to cities, create riots, and then blame the leadership in the city.
Right.
So yes,
I know when all that rioting was taking place, the Black Lives Matter,
right?
He was upset that his people, his voters, weren't out there. It was like, why aren't you guys out there kicking out? Although some of them were out there and they were creating the fires.
Right.
And that one person that got shot by an Antifa guy. So, who is QAnon?
So this is interesting. This has been in the news quite a bit, but this is I'll call it a bit of a fantasy. So this is something that, I mean, there are people that are trying to say that they're aligned with some sort of organization called, you know, and QAnon, I think is how we're saying it. QAnon. But this is really a loosely held group of just people trying to create a lot of chaos.
Okay.
So this is not it's not an official group. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's running for Congress, but remember, we saw that the Republicans that are left are going to just push her out, say we can't deal with this crazy nonsense.
Yeah, this is something that the kind of the right, the far right has made up and tried to make it like it's a real organization. So.
Okay. Do we visit other dimensions in our dream?
Yeah, absolutely. It's fairly easy to do that once you kind of get in that consciousness stream, and so many people do it, and you can actually be guided by your guides and your angels to visit other areas, other dimensions, especially if they need to show you a message. So if there's something you need to hear or see, maybe going through a cancer treatment, you need to see some, you know, vision of what can be, but you will visit other dimensions if necessary.
Okay. Do we, Elliot Brody, who's that? I can't remember.
That was a real estate developer that was involved in the Trump campaign for many years, and he's been kind of a big proponent of Republican Party. Yeah, and his wife was a Fox executive for a
Oh,
number of
yes,
years.
and there was a pregnancy involved. Okay,
Right,
I remember
right.
that. Will Elliot Brody flip on 45?
What they're telling me is he hasn't gotten there yet, but as soon as the election is over, he will flip. So right now, he's more concerned with relationships with, let's say, Saudi Arabia and China than so once Trump is no longer a factor, he'll flip on them. So he maintains the relationships with China and Saudi Arabia.
Okay. What impact will the story on Trump calling war heroes losers have on him with his base or his polls?
In a good way, this is starting the sinking of the ship.
That's what I was feeling
starting
too.
to sink. And now that you have a lot of military veterans and other people associated with the military, active military, but now they've really kind of said, kind of enough is enough, and right. This is crazy. So
there's a gal on Twitter. I don't know if this is real, but I think she lives in North Carolina. She said there's this Marine, he's a great guy, but he always tells her the reason she should vote for Trump. He's a Trumpster. She said after this, the other day he came by and he said, "Hey, Lisa, you were right."
Yeah, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. One interesting footnote to that, because I know this has been out in the press, is that I think it was Melania was saying it came from anonymous sources, for the Atlantic story, the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And what people, I guess, don't realize is anonymous sources means it's anonymous to the public, not anonymous to the editor of the newspaper.
They because they have to have sources.
Right. So Melania was saying, I think it was in a tweet that I saw, that, it was anonymous sources, don't believe it, but you're using the wrong definition,
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Will Britney Spears ever be let out of her conservatorship? She's still in it?
Yeah, she is. Don't see that happening for at least another decade. But the reason for that, it's always about money. So it's her record label and some of the other financial interests. I think RCA is still involved there, but it won't happen for at least another decade because the record label thinks she'll be too unstable. They tried that before, and she got a little out of control. So that won't happen. It's all about money.
Wow. Did they give her enough money to live on?
Yeah, no, she's doing okay, but she spun out of control a couple of times without having the guidance of family members, that kind of thing. So RCA has now put a stop to that. Yeah.
I'm curious what Sterling sees about DC statehood.
That's been talked about a number of years. I do see it coming to pass, probably no faster than 5 years, but it's all about the tax pressure. So a lot of the other states are carrying DC, and it'll be more about deriving tax revenue from DC and making them kind of carry their fair share, kind of a thing. So right. I do see that happening no faster than 5 years, could be 6 or 7 years. Yeah.
What is the real effect on the Trump family, particularly Melania, after Stephanie Winston Wilcox's book was released? Oh, yeah. I read that. Melania and me.
I almost want to use your favorite term, which is like a nothing burger. But here's the thing. Most everybody kind of knew or suspected what was in the book. So it wasn't a big surprise. It validated what a lot of people suspected. Yeah.
She's a cold fish, Melania. But she always said to Steph, "Why do you get so upset? Why are you so worried?" Like, this gal was like trying to lift her up, and she talks about her like she was in love with her or something. And it makes you wonder what a talented woman like that was wasting her time on someone like her. She'd invite her to these events she would throw. She was a bigwig with the fashion industry. She'd invite her to these events, and Melania never wrote a check one time.
Yeah, no, I'd heard that. And but anyway, in regards of it, affecting Trump and the rest of kind of the campaign, it's people suspected what was in that book anyway, right. So, yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that she's helping the people with, as far as stealing the money, yeah.
part of a large
But
tribe.
I feel Trump and Melania get off. Like, they're like, well, you know, it's his corporation that'll get sued. Like, he overcharged. And she even told Mark Burnett, what? They're charging this much money for the hotel? That's that's crazy.
Right.
So it's in writing. So she told Mark Burnett, and they were acting like, well, you know, he needs to make money. So will 45 as a private citizen be held accountable for meddling with this election?
Yeah, eventually, yes, it's going to come down in a stream of a lot of litigation, but it's going to be, you know, this is going to go on for years, a lot of this litigation. And I feel like it's no less than a dozen different types of lawsuits and things going on. So it's just going to be in the press for a long time. But yes, eventually it's all going to kind of get taken care of. He'll be taken care of, you know, he'll pay.
Will there be a cure for people with eye problems such as glaucoma and macular degeneration?
You know, I see in, let's say, in about 7-8 years kind of a time span, it might be a little bit longer, there's advances in what I'll call robotic surgery and laser technology, and also a little bit of gene splicing technology. You know, this always keeps coming up, but to help people with those conditions. But it kind of feels to me like the robotic surgery and the laser surgery advances end up helping a lot more people, and ends up being approved by insurance companies because it's more reliable and faster and becomes cheaper. So the answer is yes. Yeah, the advances in technology, yeah.
Will the new vaccine coming out November 2nd, is it going to be safe?
You know, what they're telling me, there's no less than like 4 different vaccines that are being thrown out on the world stage right now, including one from Russia. Yeah. And all of them will not be proven to be safe or effective. That's the key. Okay. So we're unfortunately won't see like the real vaccines. I still feel it's about a year out. So, I mean, and that means hundreds of millions of doses. So.
Okay. Is Al Franken due for a comeback?
Yeah, yes, both in Congress and on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, both.
All right, cool. I thought.
Yeah, I feel like what's going to happen with him inside of about 2 years is he will be back in kind of back involved in politics, and kind of there'll be a more realistic view of the whole Me Too movement. And, you know, the pendulum swings both ways, right? And some people got completely trampled by the Me Too movement, where other people, let's say like the Weinsteins of the world, definitely, you know, were perpetrators. So yeah. Okay. I think Al Franken hugged a few people. Yeah. So.
There you go. Yeah.
He hugged a few people. So. Yeah.
But that whole thing was a setup. Those people that set him up were Republicans, Trumpsters, and he posed. He wasn't even touching her. He's posing, and they made such a big deal. And I never got over Gillibrand or whatever her name is. I've been mad at her ever since. I really have. I don't, you know, I don't hate her, but. Okay, have aliens married humans?
No, and there's really no, there's no crossbreeding that's going on per se. So that's a definite no.
Okay. Do ancient civilizations such as Atlantis exist?
You know, they did exist, and there's even good records on this. But that was sort of in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, is where it was, off the coast of Africa, and they did exist. But because of earth changes, whether they were floods or earthquakes, major earth events that caused flooding, that's how Atlantis got lost. So it is underwater. Yeah.
Did ancient I just read that. Do you see prosecutors or intelligence agencies working to remove Trump before the election?
No, and because they've run out of runway, so to speak, so there's not enough time to really make that happen.
Okay.
So don't get it happening, yeah.
Is everything that is happening the beginning of the second coming of Christ?
You know, a lot of people would like to believe that, but the answer for that is no. But there's a lot more spiritual awakening going on in the universe, and many more people that'll be to help to lead in that capacity spiritually. So not the second coming of Christ. I think if you look across a lot of religions, there's the second coming of Buddha, the second coming of Muhammad. Everybody's the second coming, but it's not what people think. So it's not those people coming back, but it's an awakening, spiritual awakening.
Awakening, yeah, that Christ consciousness.
Right.
Can our pets feel the shift of consciousness?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And pets are very sensitive to not only our emotions, our feelings and spirit, but even those that have crossed over, our relatives and pets that come around. I always say you have to be careful what you think, because your pets always know what you're thinking.
Oh, okay.
Like, I wonder if I should take them to the vet. They know right away.
Oh God, if
they're going to the vet and not for a car. Yeah.
If I say you want a bass, I call it bass. They go running. It's the way I can get them out of my way. Is there romance in the afterlife?
Certainly as a type of romance. I mean, the afterlife is all about love implicitly, and so there's a lot of love in the afterlife. So the answer to that is fundamentally yes. Yeah.
Okay. Is our soul bound only to this planet for reincarnation, or can we choose other planets?
Certainly can choose other universes. So as you cross over, depending on how many times you've been here, what levels of involvement you've been through, there is an opportunity to kind of go to other universes, I'll call it. So the answer is yes to that. Mm-hmm.
Will there be a Green New Deal enacted in 2021? Well, you just got done with Eleanor Roosevelt discussing that.
Right, and so I think the important point with that one is that it may not necessarily be, let's say, just a green New Deal. It would be a New Deal which may have some green components, right? Okay. But not all just based on green programs. So.
Right, right. Do you see anything coming up for next week? Remember, Cohen's book is coming out on the 8th.
Yeah, absolutely. I see many more, I see a lot more public stance from the military and vets as a carryover from this week is what's happening with the Atlantic article. Right. So I see many more, Republicans and veterans being public about that. Obviously, with Cohen's book coming out, there's going to be a big drop. And I think there's even an interview coming up with Cohen. I believe.
Oh yeah, he's going to be on Mad On a couple of places.
Yeah, so that's going to be a big thing. And by the way, I also see Pelosi dropping a few qualified hints about financial records that they have. So I see some remarks coming out about, something about we've now got tax records or fundamentals to the Trump organization. I see that being dropped almost in synchronicity with like the Cohen discussion. So
I love it. Well, they're going crazy about that hairdressing thing that she went to the hairdresser.
That was a setup, unfortunately.
It was just her and the gal working there. So it's
right.
like not like Tulsa with him with no mask and letting all these people get infected. But that basically, I said, wow, that's all they got. That's all they got right now. Yeah. They're running with it because they're trying to act like, oh, look what, Anyway, so do you have any information that your guides want to share?
This is a reinforcement from a couple other weeks, but it'll be reinforced again, and that is trust your inner guidance and your inner insights, because a lot of people have them. So a lot of people know, let's say, not to worry or be confident, be comforted, and everybody has that kind of intuition and that inner voice that's talking to them. Okay. So I would say, believe that, don't discount it. Many people say, yeah, I got the feeling, but I don't believe it. So I say, believe it. Yeah.
And I did feel I had the vision of the balloon starting to leak and go down. So I think the stock market is getting ready to do a little tumble coming up.
It is. And I see it going through a number of cycles, still up and down. I think we got about another 4 or 5 up and down cycles before we get to the election.
Right.
So,
I'm telling you, they're going to get it together. They're going to up the taxes on the rich, but somebody like Bezos is going to pay some cash.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But you know, everything that's going on in 2020, if you made a movie about it, no one would believe the script.
Exactly.
But you can believe this much stuff happened. Yeah. So
Right. Well, it's been a delight, my friend.
always a pleasure. Thank you. Always
I
good.
love it. Are we on for next Sunday? You got any
We
plans?
are. We are.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that's good. Because I look forward to this.
Always good
Bye,
time.
you guys.
Thanks.